What's up guys, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Luke.
And we're here to lay claim to some of the new box deals coming with the new North Africa compilation.
These boxes contain a huge amount of plastic and are the best way to get started with mid-war in the desert.
Yep. And seeing as we're just getting started with mid-war, how about we get into these boxes, starting with the new Kasserine Starter.
I call dibs on the Germans.
Righto.
There's the Panzer IVs. You take your Americans and I'll see you on the battlefield.
Righto.
The Kasserine Starter set contains all you need to get started with mid-war Flames of War. You have a complete German and American force, a mini rulebook, quick start guide, and assembly guides to get you playing right away, unit cards, dice, and even tokens around the edge of the box that can be cut out. All you need is some plastic cement to assemble your miniatures and a tape measure for measuring distances. And you're all set to play. Throw in some paints as well to paint up your army and you're ready to recreate the Battle of Kasserine Pass. But the reason I'm here is to look at the Germans who you get in the box, who will easily break through the weak American defense and bring me to victory. Let's see what units we get to play with. There are 21 vehicles and 3 guns in the starter, and the Germans take 9 of those vehicles and 3 of the guns to build a Panzer-free tank company. Starting with the Panzer-frees, you'll find 6 of these in the box. These can be built as either the short, long, or up-armored variants depending on what flavor you prefer. One of these Panzer-frees will make up your HQ, and the other 5 in your first Black Box platoon. Your next Black Box can contain more Panzer-frees or some Panzer IVs. The starter set comes with 3 Panzer IVs that you can use to fill this box with, to round out your force. You have the option to build these as either the short or the long 7.5 centimeter as well. Last up are 3 5 centimeter guns or Pak 38s, which add even more punch to your force and are the perfect ambush unit that are taken as formation support. Altogether, you have a small but efficient German force that will be more than capable of taking on the Americans whilst you learn the ropes. However, once you're ready to take it up to a full-size game, you'll want some reinforcements. So let's have a look at the German Army Deal and see what goodies we can find to bulk out our force. The Afrika Korps Army Deal contains a fully built out Panzer-free tank company, so it pairs extremely well with the models in the starter set. Let's get it opened and have a look. Let's start with the paper stuff. We have a Start Here guide, which is our resource to get up and running with your new force. It contains all the assembly guides for your new models, your army list, and even a handy What's Next section to guide you towards your next purchase options. We have, of course, a mini rulebook as well, which is a great and handy reference to the entirety of the rules. You can never have enough of these. With the rulebook, we also have the unit cards you need for all the units in the box, as well as decal sheets with vehicle markings, should you want to pimp out your force. But let's move on to the plastics. Just like in the starter set, we have a collection of Panzer-frees and Panzer IVs, which form the base of your Panzer-free company. The 7 Panzer-frees and 4 Panzer IVs in the Army Deal will allow you to fully flesh out multiple platoons when combined with the starter set. Let's look at the new support options. To combat the range of armor you'll be up against, you'll find a range of gun options to support your Panzers, starting with some 5 centimeter guns. You'll have 3 of these Pak 38s in the box, ready to provide some protection against lighter to medium armor, and with the 3 in the starter set, you have a good base to add some infantry for a rifle company. For the heavier armor, a pair of 8.8 centimeter heavy AA guns will allow you to punch through most anything from the other side of the table. And finally, 4 10.5 centimeter howitzers will give you a great artillery option to drop some templates on your opponent. So I've managed to get hold of Wayne to help walk me through what I'm going to be doing with my starter set of Kasserine and my Army Deal. So Wayne, how should I use my Army Deal to help bulk out my Kasserine starter set?
Oh, right. Well, the Army Deal's got quite a bit of different stuff in it, so there's all sorts of options. The Kasserine Army Deal is giving you mostly tanks, isn't it?
Yes, mostly tanks with a couple of guns.
So you might want to consider the artillery or the 88s, because the 88s give you long-range firepower against heavier tanks. I'm not sure if you'll be running into too many heavy tanks
Yeah.
against an American force. But yeah, there's always an option you can take some. Then there's plenty of more Panzer IIIs and Panzer IVs in there as well. So Panzer IVs are reasonably expensive, so you're probably maxed out on those at the moment.
Yeah, I think maxing out the Panzer IV formation is a good idea, and I'm also thinking of bulking out Panzer IIIs so we get an extra platoon in there. Makes me a little harder to break.
Yeah. So yeah, okay, cool. So there's there's all sorts of options with the builds as well. You can go for short barrel or long barrel.
Yeah.
Have more armor, less armor. I mean, it all depends on how many points you've got to squeeze them into your force, really.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of having a good mix of different types of tanks, as well as at least one up armored in each platoon to kind of bounce a couple of shots of wherever I see the chance to.
Yeah. Well, what I've had a sneak peek of what Ryan's thinking of fielding. I know he's got lots of tanks, so you probably don't have to worry too much about things like artillery, because your tanks are kind of not invulnerable, but are well protected against artillery. Artillery is good for squashing other guns and infantry, so you probably won't have to worry about the artillery for the moment until you start playing maybe someone else.
Awesome. Thanks, Wayne.
Okay.
In that case, I've got my work cut out for me. Make sure you head over to our website to pre-order your North African models now. Follow us on our social media channels and subscribe down below, and keep up with us as me and Ryan prepare our forces to get mean in Kasserine. We'll see you all later.